What is up, guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Misha Stoyanov, and guys, today I'm going to show you my 10 kettlebell drills on how to improve your muscle size and your muscle strength simultaneously while only using kettlebells. So the first thing we're going to do in this video is lay out all the science information about how to build muscle size, how to build strength, because there are different things we have to keep in mind, and we have to apply this knowledge to the specificity of kettlebell training, because kettlebell training has a lot of different benefits. We have to make sure that for example, we use some ballistic exercises, but also some isolation exercises, some compound exercise, different kind of exercises that are going to help us build this specific protocol. So the first thing, guys, that we have to keep in mind is that there are three ways muscles can be stimulated to change. The first thing is metabolic stress. And metabolic stress actually causes the cell swelling around the muscle. So we know that high-speed eccentric training creates high levels of metabolic stress that will trigger the cell damage and stimulate protein synthesis, which in turn will result in gain in muscle mass and strength. So we want to make sure we include high-speed eccentric exercises. And this is where the ballistic training of kettlebell is going to come in. So things like cleans, snatches, swings are going to be very beneficial in that aspect. The second point is muscle tension. You do this by applying a load of stress that your body is not really well adapted to. So you kind of have this idea of progressive overload, trying to always ramp up the total amount of weight that you're lifting each week. And basically, muscle tension activates the connection of the motor units with the muscle cells. So this is important. And the last one is muscle damage. And this is basically some sort of localized damage in your muscle cells. And by the way, soreness, for example, can be an indicator of muscle damage. So how do we stimulate muscle hypertrophy, or in other words, muscle growth? Well, the formula is more training volume, lighter weights, and less rest between sets. So this is very different from strength building, because strength building, on the contrary, is less training volume, heavier weights, and fewer reps per set. So you have those two different strategies, two different ways of working, but you can actually mix it up in your training. You can make sure that you mix heavy weights and light weights and higher repetition, lower repetition in your training. And basically the recipe for that is to spread and have different exercises. You want to have some isolation exercise for the hypertrophy. You want to have some compound exercises with heavy weights for the strength building. And then, for example, you want to have some high-speed eccentric training exercise, some ballistic training exercises like the swing, the clean, the snatch, that are going to activate some fast twitch muscle fibers in your body. And this is going to bring you basically a bit of both, a bit of muscle strength, a bit of muscle building. So these 10 key kettlebell exercises are really good if you want to increase your progress in strength building and muscle building. So without further ado, guys, let's go straight to the exercises. Alright guys, so the very first exercise is going to be the double kettlebell swing. And this exercise unlocks a higher loading potential that can result in continued progress and muscle growth. It also increases your grip strength, and as said earlier, it is one of the high-speed eccentric training exercises. Lifting 2 kettlebells instead of 1 reduces drastically the number of repetitions, so it's perfect to introduce in strength building programs. Alright, so next we have the double kettlebell clean and press, and this is probably my favorite exercise for building functional strength, as it puts your whole body under tension. Most of the kettlebell exercises for getting bigger and stronger require 2 kettlebells, and the reason is pretty obvious. More resistance equals faster hypertrophy and strength gains. If we use the military press example, when you press 124 kg kettlebell overhead, your body is working against 24 kilograms in total. But when you press 2 kettlebells overhead, your body is working against 48 kilograms. And since it's a full body exercise, all the targeted muscles are going to work harder. The exercise becomes more intense and will develop more muscle hypertrophy. Alright, so next we have the double kettlebell front squat, and this is a great compound exercise to build strength and core stability. What is interesting in that exercise is that you have to deal with the instability of the kettlebells in addition to the actual weight you're squatting with. This exercise is quite demanding as it requires a lot of focus, balance, strong legs, and a strong upper body. It is also known that compound exercises are the most effective way to build muscle and strength. The double kettlebell front squat is essential in that aspect. Alright guys, so next we have the double kettlebell thruster. And this exercise will greatly enhance your functional fitness in terms of strength, movement, and neural function. It is a combination of a front squat, and an overhead press. It will increase your core strength, your scapular stability, and it will also develop your bracing capabilities. Bracing is the ability to keep tension throughout your torso so that your body does not collapse on itself during your lifts. In other words, you learn to correctly contract muscles in the lower back and stomach to increase intra-abdominal pressure. This exercise will tremendously increase stability when you lift. Alright, so the next one on the list is the kettlebell bob and weave. And this exercise might look like nothing, but it actually has a purpose. It will help you develop strength and flexibility moving in a lateral direction. Lateral movements are often missing from training routines. You will work hamstrings, glutes, hips, quads, back stabilizers, trapezius, and shoulder stabilizers. When performing this exercise, you want to make sure you're keeping your lower back flat, and you also want to make sure that you're moving from the hips rather than the lower back. I personally like to perform this exercise at the end of my strength workout just to add in some lateral movement and further tension on my lower body muscles. Alright guys, so the kettlebell snatch is another high-speed eccentric exercise that does wonders. Throughout the strength and hypertrophy building program, the snatch is best used as a workout finisher. Since our focus is to train the muscles to generate more force, maintaining tension through the concentric phase, and especially the eccentric phase, is the best way to stimulate muscle growth. The snatch does a great job of eccentrically loading the posterior, but it happens so quickly that barely any time is spent under that tension. For this reason, it is not the best muscle building exercise per se, even though it is a great exercise to stimulate the glutes, the abs, and the lower body. I personally find the snatch to be the perfect exercise to perform at the end of my session. So next we have the rack carry, and this is a classic functional strength and conditioning exercise that basically consists of walking a distance while holding a heavy load in each hand. Loaded carries have the ability to stress muscular hypertrophy and hormonal adaptations due to increased time under tension. The idea is to stress the entire body as a whole in order to ignite the central nervous system. Besides building strength and hypertrophy, you are also developing a thick core musculature and you're increasing spine stabilization. Grip, back, and core strength is especially enhanced. The rack carry is great for improving core and scapular stabilization, whereas the farmer's walk is perfect for stimulating strength, stability, and mass development. So now we have the two-handed kettlebell curl, which is a workout finisher. The idea is to target the muscles such as the biceps and the forearms in order to finish breaking the muscle fibers and increase muscle hypertrophy. So as we said earlier, we want to add some isolation exercises to make sure we stimulate muscle hypertrophy. Because everything about muscle hypertrophy is about generating these isolated contractions, the mind-muscle connection. So it's kind of an unnatural exercise, but the goal of this exercise is to finish breaking the muscle fibers and to increase hypertrophy. So just to give you another example of a good isolation exercise, that is a push exercise. Triceps extensions are excellent because they help you build and shape the upper posterior arm muscles. There are also other exercises that you can add in your workout routine. You can, for example, do the double kettlebell row, but this is just an example, and basically what matters is that you finish breaking those muscle fibers at the end of your workout. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful. If so, don't hesitate to leave a like. Don't hesitate to drop a comment below. And also, if you haven't done so, I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel. So guys, I will see you in the next video.